Hello, doing a little Elden Ring today. Just kind of showing off what I did last night to try to find the best weapon I could. So we're kind of doing a let's watch because I had to fast forward a bunch of this because it took me about an hour. I'll start off, we'll be going in this direction. This is so we can get that awesome sword I just showed you. That's probably like the most OP weapon right now, so I thought, yeah, let's get this one. Because we need it. I pretty much making a marker and taking off from the shack. Good majority of this is just kind of me running past a bunch of enemies and getting away from them. Because a lot of the people that will be doing this, you can do this right from the beginning if you want. If you just head up north from where you got your horse and just keep running. Just kind of follow my pathway down till we get down to this bridge area. I turned up it this way, just kind of get those bats off my trail. I didn't feel like doing a fight since I was trying to get this done as fast as possible. And then we have this little witch here. Have a chat with her. She'll do a palm reading for you. It's not really a needed thing, but it's a good part of the storyline, so thought I'd grab it while I was over this way. And the weapon that we're going for is probably the most OP in the game. Also, I'll be doing a little farming area so you can see where to get a good amount of runes. Up here, where this guy is, you can grab a cookbook and then just jump on down this hill. A lot of random pauses because of me trying to remember where to go. And deciding if I wanted to get that thing or not. Decided not to. Didn't really need it. And then on up the hill and over that path that I just pointed out. So on up the hill, and then take this path. All the way down until you hit another grace, right at the bottom here. It's a pretty long path. It's just kind of staying right on the right side of the entire mountain and following it down. You'll see the top of the church, and then stop at the grace before it. Make sure to reset the enemies because there's a bunch of wolves on that pathway, so they will follow. And then down the hill to the church. And our first church is the Church of Irith. And get the sacred tear. And I also stopped to talk to the priest here. If you give him 10 runes, he will start selling you spells if you want them. So if you need spells and you didn't start out as a astronomer, you can get the spells from this guy. All the same spells that you normally use as astronomer, and one that you don't normally have. And off from there, take a left, jump on over to the rocks, and then down until you get to this little area here, and then jump on into the cavern. Down this path until you see this fortress. Don't worry about going inside the fortress. Just kind of showing it here. And then down from this fortress we'll go until we get to the next grace, which is right before the swamp area. Stop and take a quick rest, and then on our way. On this little pathway here, it's a road, you'll see a little map fragment. Grab that and keep going. Just kind of drag the enemies away from it and then grab the map piece. And then run until you get to the next grace. Stop and rest at this grace because you'll probably attract one of these poison shooters. They will take you down pretty fast because, like I said, poison. From there, we're just going to go over this way to where the next map fragment is. Which those little pillars are where your map fragments are. If you haven't just a normal map, just follow the pillars and you'll find the fragments. And that'll also get us to our next grace. Off down this way. Try to stay away from the lobsters. They're pretty good strength. They will knock you off the horse. Take a rest to get the lobsters off your back. Go grab your map piece. Right over here. Alright. Then from there, we'll get up and go over this roofway. Jump on over the roof and down through the city. This way will take you to a golden seed, So that way you get some more flash charges. Boom. Golden seed. And then up over this. And around the back side here of the city. And if you run into the water here, you'll see a little pillar area, like a little tiny tower thing. Run on into it and there will be a teleporter for you. Go through the teleporter. Turn around, there's a map fragment right there. And behind you, there will be another site of grace. Well, behind us is actually the tower that we're going to go to, but off to the right there is a little site of grace to stop at real quick. Go ahead and grab that, just in case you need to get back here. And then off to the tower. To the right of the tower, no point in going down the middle. You're not really getting monsters at this point to get anything. Hit the wall on the way over there, and boom. Take a rest because you'll probably make the guard mad because you took down his wall. And off to the left, there's also a giant that sells smithing stones. And then we'll just run on to the right side, stay on the rocks, and this will keep you away from the lightning for the most part. Lightning doesn't hit you if you're on the far right. And just get over here to this grace to reset the lightning so it doesn't smash you down. From there, we're going inside the castle. You can no longer use torrent in here. Stay on the rocks. There's a bunch of weird hand creatures. I like to call them the royal hands because they have a bunch of rings and stuff on them. So they look like the hands of the main character, kind of just like coming up and smashing everything. So just run past them until you get inside this little place here. Run up the hill. Reset your enemies at this grace. That way you don't have a bunch of hand creatures following you. And then over here, level 4 smithing stone. Out of this little path here, we're going to go down that straight way to the left, and then to the right, and then off to the left. There's a place to jump. As you see it, I kind of fell off the first time, so keep an eye out. And don't fall straight in the hole because you will lose a lot of health. And go ahead and grab your new sword, the awesome Knight in Flame. Best sword in the game. But at this point, if you got this more towards the beginning, you are not going to have enough levels to actually use it. So get back over to where you got the horse at, travel back over there, grab the grace down the hill from that. And then from there, we'll go down this way till we see a bridge. And on over to the top of the bridge. And then we'll take a right. Kind of get away from the big guy that's guarding that bridge. All the way down the side here. And if you follow this little path that I'm taking, you'll get yourself to another site of grace. And they're right up on by this hill to the right. There it is. Take a quick rest. Reset that guy that's chasing you on the horse. And off to the right is a hill that you need to go up. Going up the hill and then down. See, there's find a way down this thing. It is a kind of a death trap area, so you kind of have to use your horse to jump on these little pillars to get down this thing. And then off from here, you want to go towards that tower. It's kind of like a weird guarded area. And then after you hit the tower, take a left. I'm looking over the ocean because reasons. I want to see the scenery. But take a left from there. And there will be a little guy selling some stuff down here. He has another finger. So if you don't have all the fingers, he has your fourth finger. And then on from him, you just take a right turn. Down this way is a bunch of a big old palace looking thing. Or this little thing here. Go down from that and you'll find another map fragment. It's surrounded by a bunch of bears, so watch out. They will take you down pretty fast. Get past all the bears. Keep going towards that right direction, towards the east. And you'll get down to this beachy area. And from the beach, take a left. And go north towards the Church of Marika. Grab your grace. Reset any bears that decide to follow you. And grab yourself a new flask. So now you have three different types of flasks. And another tier. So now you have 2 tiers, so you can get ×2 potions now. And on through this portal, which is right behind the church. After that, we're getting up here. That big giant guy, we're going to try to avoid him. He will one-hit you. And from there, just kind of go inside the doors. Yep, just go inside the doors right here in this castle area. Go to the right and stay down at the Grace real quick. And then back out the doors the same way I took in. And over here to the right. And go down all these fungus areas. There's a bunch of little creatures over here. Oh yeah, and there's a golden seed too. But all these little creatures here, they're about 1,000 point runes each. So go ahead and take them out later when you get this sword actually to the level to use it. Because those are 1,000 runes apiece, and this is an awesome farming area. This is also where I kind of farmed to make it so that I could get extra levels so I could actually use it. Because I was such a high level, I didn't get to level up all the way with the method I used to get extra runes. And then past this dragon, we will run. On down the hill, stay to the right on the rocks here because he will be shooting you the whole time. Until you get to the next Grace pretty much, or past this other dragon. Just down the potted area where all the pots are. Get past them, just keep running down the right side. Kind of avoiding all the shots that you're getting. So don't bother stopping for anything because you are going to get chased. And then past all these baby dragons and the big mama dragon. After you get past all the baby dragons, go take a rest of this little Grace here to reset all those dragons. Don't want them following you around. Now down over here, we're going to come take down this big guy. Because taking him down takes down all the baby dragons as well. So we'll come stand over in this corner where we can actually reach them. Make sure to get out your bleed weapon and just start hacking away. It takes about 5 to 6 minutes to hack away at this, even with a bleed weapon. So bleed them down, bleed them down, bleed them down. And eventually you'll get up to a point where you can't hit him anymore, and that means he's disappearing. At that point, just run back to the Grace. And yeah, 74,000 runes for that. If I would have had chicken foot, I probably would have gotten like 90 something. But take a quick seat and level yourself up enough so you can actually use your new weapon. If I would have done this earlier in the game, I would have been able to level up all the way right away, but yeah, no. Didn't do it early enough in the game. So I already had a bunch of levels on stuff, so it's a little more expensive for me. But if you're just starting at the beginning, you could get it all the way up. I had to go do a little farming before I could fully use it. Back of that area that I showed you. Yeah. And then after that, get out your nice new cool sword. Yeah, this is probably the best OP weapon in the game. It can take out pretty much any boss. So, yeah. Especially after you power it up a few times. Even at 0, it does pretty good damage. But, yeah. There it is. Night and Fire sword. The best OP weapon there is. Oh, and here in a second or so, after I stop showing it off, I'll actually use it for a second, because I actually did power up enough to actually use it finally last night. Took me a little while. Also, get the finger seal for your left hand item, because you cannot have anything in your left hand when you're using this. So the left hand item is just kind of a hold area. It just brings up my physical. But here we go. Hold down your left trigger and your right trigger, and boom. Right bumper for that, and right trigger for the flames. Well, thanks for watching. Have a good one out there. Please like and subscribe.